It'll be okay if we have high expectations for this episode. Y'all mind if I got a little super hype? Love to see Luke Skywalker with the green lightsaber running around Mos Espa. It's very possible that Ben and Emilia Clarke as Kira will that Bosk shows up alongside Cad Bane. Oh man, this should be fun. We, of course, have to talk about the Book of Boba Fett finale, episode 7. I want to break down the good and bad from this episode, speak on the season as a whole, of course, talk about what I think Star Wars fans are going to take away from the Book of Boba Fett, but I also just want to give you my personal feelings here and why I wish the dang thing was just a little bit better. What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Adventure Tower. As per usual, smash a like on this video just because. You know, I think the best way to summarize or surmise my feelings about the Book of Boba Fett finale is, why's it gotta be like this? Why does Star Wars content seem to always have to be like this? This finale and the show overall, despite having some real high points and incredible moments, is overall pretty middle of the road. That's my opinion, and thus this video is likely to enrage half of you because you absolutely love this show and the finale and you think I'm feeding into the hate machine. And then I'm gonna enrage half of you because you think I'm apologizing or going too soft on Disney's Star Wars.
You're going soft in your old age.
The Star Wars fan divide will be at play here in this episode, and although I say this all the time, it bears repeating. These days, discourse around Star Wars content really becomes two sides cheering or booing. And this is really no matter how good or bad the content is. And when a show like Book of Boba Fett is so middle of the road with a lot of good things but a lot of weird and bad things in it, you give ammunition to both sides. The people that love Star Wars content and want to cheer on Lucasfilm no matter what can pick out all the dope things that were in this show and highlight it and say that it was good. And the people that don't like Lucasfilm and are going to look for every single problem that Star Wars content has, they've got plenty of ammunition, as the show was really uneven with some real weird head-scratching moments. And the reason I want to highlight that is because I was hoping that the Book of Boba Fett was going to put that to rest, that the finale would be perhaps so amazing that most Star Wars fans would agree it was a love letter to the fans and something we should celebrate. Partially, this is due to the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2, which saw a similar effect. It was like for a brief moment in time, the fan divide seemed to go to the background of conversation, and most Star Wars fans just came together and celebrated an epic moment in the Star Wars franchise. And so ultimately, because the Book of Boba Fett did not accomplish that with its finale, I would have to say I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Now, I've watched the finale several times at this point, and here's the overall vibe that I get. While I'm watching it, I'm having a really good time. There's a lot going on. Many exciting things happen in the show, but then it kind of just gets to this part in the third act and at the end of the episode where you're like, oh, okay, is that really all? It's a very fun episode, but ultimately leaves me a bit underwhelmed and unfulfilled. It's kind of like I was expecting a bit more, but I did enjoy the ride while I was watching. I mean, the Boba and Mando action is absolutely incredible, and I finally got to see Boba flying around in his jetpack, blasting people, and when he rides the Rancor, it was absolutely incredible. Everybody at Lucasfilm and ILM deserves a lot of praise for how dope the Rancor acted and looked in this episode, and it was really, really fun to see all of this craziness go down. I thought Cad Bane was a real highlight of this episode as well. He's really cold, calculating. The fight between him and Boba was cool, albeit shorter than I wanted. By the way, I definitely don't think that Cad Bane is actually dead, and the beeping on his chest to me indicates that his little droid or somebody else is going to come save him, throw him in a bacta tank. We get a lot of Grogu being adorable Grogu. In a lot of ways, the episode's so dang good, and I did enjoy watching it. But again, I was sort of left unfulfilled, and And this really led me to this question of like, why? Like, what is going on with this show, with this episode? I thought about the pacing, and while it is a little bit weird with important scenes like Grogu and Din seeing each other placed in the middle of a weird chase, that doesn't actually ruin the finale for me, and it's not something that I was really hung up on. I thought about the weird choices like the biker gang convincing Boba to fight in town rather than in the palace. Maybe, you know, weird stuff like that was what led me to be unfulfilled, but I kind of don't think so. I mean, there's definitely a bunch of weird choices all throughout this show, but they're not deal breakers, and most of them don't take me out of particular episodes. There's also the fact that Boba continues to be more soft. He's told to his face by Cad Bane that he's going soft, and he kind of replies, "I'm going soft with respect." While that's definitely a thing, and they did sort of water Boba down or take him in a new direction as a character, however you want to think of it, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think that's why I end up feeling the way that I feel after watching the show and this episode in particular. Again, I've thought a lot about this, and I've come to the conclusion that for me personally, it's episodes 5 and 6 that make me feel unfulfilled with episode 7. Now, let's be fair, I can admit I did play somewhat of a role in hyping up this finale. There were many scoopers and insiders out there that were also hyping up this final episode, saying that they had heard crazy things were going to happen and that it was going to follow in the footsteps of episode 5 and 6. And sure, folks like that do play a role in hyping up an episode like this, but I've ultimately come away with the feeling that it's on the show for doing what they did in episodes 5 and 6 that leads me to a place that episode 7, as good as it was, ultimately does disappoint me. I think this sort of offbeat strategy of having a condensed 4-episode arc for Boba, then doing some stuff with Din and Luke, and then bringing everybody back to Tatooine was kind of weird. It does leave you in an interesting place. And, you know, expecting Luke to show up and having that scene with the X-Wing, you know, it's not quite Ralph Boner level of misdirection, but I do think it was sort of a weird choice. You could make the argument that a lot of people were just expecting even more crazy cameos like the Han Solo rumor or the Kira rumor. And I think that's totally fair, but I also think episodes 5 and 6 did crazy things that fans were not expecting. And I just think it's a weird pacing to like sort of drop 2 absolute fire episodes that were heavily rated. You know, fans loved them. They blew up on social media. And then you sort of go away from all of that in episode 7. Why wouldn't you have worked in some of the cool, you know, internet breaking things in the finale? So again, I think for me, it's just ultimately I'm a bit frustrated that the show didn't just absolutely blow us away with the finale, because I really do want Star Wars to get to a place where more fans are excited and being hyped up about Star Wars content online instead of the current fan divide that we have going on sort of persisting. Now, I know not everybody is on the extremes here, and some people thought maybe the show is just okay, and if that's fine. Other folks can say, yeah, maybe this wasn't that great, but I still am excited for coming Star Wars content. I'm going to do a whole nother video very soon talking about the Book of Boba Fett more in totality as a show and discussing if we needed the show, why the choices to have the Din Djarin Luke Skywalker story beats in this show are a little bit strange, and ultimately get into some of the rumors and, you know, conspiracy about this show. But I will say for now, I'm not really concerned about the Filoniverse or Star Wars overall. I think there are a lot of lessons that they can learn from Book of Boba Fett, and honestly, if Kenobi comes out, it's absolutely incredible. If Andor comes out, and it's awesome. If season 2 of Bad Batch comes out and it's really good, Star Wars will begin to sort of round the corner and have more dope stuff for fans to get excited about, which will allow the conversation to sort of shift into that direction. There's way too much baggage and sort of bad blood in the fandom right now for them to kind of just go middle of the road again and again. And that's just my opinion here. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the finale of Book of Boba Fett. I'd love to know your thoughts about it. I'm sure you're triggered one way or the other, or maybe you're not and you get where I'm coming from. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of this video. I will be talking about this on a live stream tomorrow morning, so if you got some feelings about Book of Boba Fett, questions, comments, come on by live tomorrow morning at 10:30. We'll be talking about it over on the live streaming channel. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel to see more of our content pop up in your recommended feed. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.